Hey everybody, Steve Burns back again. We are going to talk about AI today, and yes, it is in Photoshop. We have AI, um, and we're going to go and play with it right now. So let's start with a file. Just make a brand new file, and the file, what you're going to do is you are going to make a 1920 by 1080. So you go to your file, new menu, and just put in 1920 by 1080. Make sure pixels is selected here. Okay. All right. I'm going to close that out because I've already done so. All right. In the bottom, you see a contextual taskbar. Okay. And if you hit your three little stars here, you can add in, you can select more properties, right? Or you can close it out. But it always lives right under the window menu, right there. That's where it exists if you ever need it. Okay. So we're going to type something in here. But the way the contextual taskbar works is it needs something selected. Remember from the beginning I always talked about the key to mastering Photoshop is mastering selections. Well, Photoshop needs a selection in here. Okay. Hit the F key to kind of go to full screen mode here. And now let's go and add a selection. We have a brand new layer. Command A is select all. We have marching ants dancing all around the borders of our composition or of our canvas. So what I want to do is, you see this generative fill there? I'm going to hit it. I'm going to select it once. Okay. And it's giving me a little message about generative AI apps, and you can create new ways. Sure. We're going to click OK. And now it automatically gives you a little box there to place in a text prompt. So what we're going to do is going to create a mountainous scene, or we'll call it mountains and peaks for now. So mountains, we're going to keep it really simple. Mountains and peaks. And we will click OK or enter on the keyboard. Notice on the right hand side, you have your properties panel is going to give you several different options. So ensure that you have your properties panel open and ready for view. So there they are. In the properties panel, it gives me 3 different options. These are not bad. Okay. I think I can use some of these. So I'm going to hit generate again, right? And let's see if it can do something a little different. It keeps the original 3, as you can see here in the bottom. And it's going to give us 3 more. There we go. Now I'm liking this a lot. Okay. I'm going to take another view of another one. This one is not bad. I'm liking it. And I'm taking a look at this one. That's not bad. So I'm liking these so far. I want to do it again. So the goal here is to create some type of a theme or a story. We're going to make this mountainous landscape, but we're going to create something using our Photoshop skills. We're going to create something unique. We're not going to allow the AI to control us. We're going to do something with it. Let's hit generate one more time to see what we get. All right, it's getting faster and faster each time. And when we're done, when this is done, we're going to start putting our Photoshop skills to use. I love this one. Love this here. I like this one. Take a look at this one here. That is not bad. That has potential, as well as that one there. All right. So let's assess these images. I'm going to scroll down here and take a look at them all. I'm loving this for the foreground detail. I think this is going to work really well. I'm liking this as well. Move this on over. And what's the beauty about this is that all of these images, they don't exist, right? And the final piece that we're going to create it's not going to be something that exists. Okay, so I'm going to make a decision. Take a look at these one more time. Yeah, I'm liking that one. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with something like this, and I'm going to utilize possibly these two. Let's go play. Take a look at your layer. On the bottom right side of your layer, you have a symbol there that represents the idea that this is a AI generated layer. Okay, so it's a non-destructive layer or a vector layer. You can't paint on it, and you can't apply any of the raster-based tools like paint brushes and stamp tools on this image. Okay, so let's go play with this one. So here's my thoughts. As much as I like this, I think I'm going to utilize this one and this one. All right. Duplicate the layer. So Command J. Now what I want to do is kick this image into a single layer. I want this image to no longer be an AI object, but instead be something that I can use for manipulating. So on the right hand side, I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to find the rasterized layer dead center. Click it, and this layer is now no longer a AI layer. It's a standard layer. In fact, let's just drag the layer mask to the garbage can just temporarily. Go ahead and delete it. And we're going to get rid of the sky. I want the flexibility to bring in my own sky. So I'm going to come right over here, grab that's the healing brush. I want to go up here and grab the object selection tool, or better yet, I'm going to grab the quick selection tool. And if I just select it, it's doing a fantastic job. Okay. Now, if we look over to the right hand side, a little bit of it spilled over, but that's okay. Okay. I'm going to allow that to stay. I'm going to inverse the selection. So Command or Control Shift I. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command or Control J to place it onto its own layer. So now let's go down the layers underneath it. Let's turn them off. There they are. So we have our mountains here without a sky. Why? Because we're going to utilize this. All right. Now, what I like to do is we're going to alter that into a smart object. Right click, convert to smart object. There. Now, I need more sky. Okay, I'm going to pull this back a little bit. Hit the C key for the crop tool. Okay. And as you can see, all these little AI, these little help menus are going to pop up here every so often. So I'm going to take it, pull this on up, and hit enter. That's going to give us some room to play with this. Now, what I'm going to do is this. It's a smart object, edit menu, transform, warp. And I can take this and pull these mountains up just like so to get something that looks different. I'm liking where this is going. I might even take the center and pull these on over. Pull this on over, go more toward the center. That works. And it's okay if we distort it. And okay, we're getting something different. We're going to keep working. Okay. In fact, I'm going to save this, Command Shift S, and I'm going to find the place to save this. So in the event that my computer accidentally crashes, I can always go back, right, and get the image. All right, let's go find the folder we're going to put this in. Go to my little video category. We're in there now. And let's go to my folder. There we go. All right. I'm going to put it in a separate module here. I'm happy. Okay. We'll just save it there for now. Now, let's go back and take a look at our layers. Let's turn off the top one temporarily. And let's come back and turn on that original AI layer. It maintains, let's kind of pull everything on up. It maintains my images, right? So turn that one off temporarily. So we got this one here, this one here. Make sure that's turned on properly. Go. We got that one there. So I'm thinking something for the base of this. That's the one we used earlier. And I think we'll use this one here. Okay. Duplicate the layer again. All right, so once it's duplicated, let's drag it on up right below the one we're working on. And let's go turn those on. In fact, let's drag this right above the one we're working on. And we're going to come over here, go to our quick selection tool, and select that sky because I don't want it. I want some room to breathe here. I want to be able to put in my own sky. If I hit my M key for the marquee tool, I'm going to hit the Shift key and just add a little more to make sure I get all of that sky. And then we're going to expand the selection. Key to Mastering Photoshop is Mastering Section. Modify. Expand by 3 pixels because we want to crop into the mountains, just a little bit. See that there? That was why we expanded them, just to crop into the mountains just a little bit to ensure that we're not going to get any of that blue sky. Okay, so once done, make sure that I am in the right layer, which I am. I'm going to go target this here. We're going to make sure this is rasterized once again. So right click and we're going to go and hit the rasterized layer there. Okay. I'm going to delete the mask for now. I'm not going to need it. So don't show this again and delete. All right, now with the section, I'm going to hit the delete key and delete out the sky. See that? Okay, and I'm going to undo this. And we're going to start doing some magic here. Let's go to this one and give this a smart object now so that it becomes, now that we've got it the way we want it, the sky is gone, it's okay that we can add a smart object there. So now I'm going to come over, edit menu, transform. I'm going to transform the warp. Now, if you want more of these lines in here to fine tune this, then come up here to the top, select the line that you're looking for, and then add another line in there. Okay. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Nice. Okay. So at this point, we're going to use our Photoshop skills, our painting skills. We're going to give this a layer mask. Third icon from the left on the bottom of your layers panel, and select it, and we now have a layer mask. Hit the B key for the brush. Let's turn this one off and on so we can see. And now we're going to paint with black onto the mask. This black conceals, white reveals. Hitting the X key, switch to 2. And I'm going to start to paint away. And I'm going to start to integrate these two. Isn't that cool? All right. Starting to make some progress here. I'm going to integrate this into the mountain. Make it something a little different. The whole concept here is that you want to be flexible. And when using AI, that you have to be flexible. And we're just going to explore and experiment. Okay, so we can use AI for a lot of different stuff, right? For a lot of different things, but in a lot of different ways. But this is a nice little practical example of applying your painting tools or your brush tools, your masking, just to build something that never existed from the very, very beginning. So if we take a look at this, I'm automatically starting to see, I'm loving this valley down here, all down this little area here. So why not extend that a little bit? So I'm going to need to, go to my crop tool and extend the bottom out a little bit more. So I'm going to hit C on the keyboard, the shortcut for the crop tool. I'm going to move this contextual taskbar here over to the side and pull this down right about there. And I think that'll give me enough room. I mean, you never know how much room you're really going to need. You just play. All right. So I go to my regular marquee, my rectangular marquee. Why? Because the key to mastering Photoshop is mastering selections. And I'm going to grab a large part of that section up there and see what AI can do for me for this particular image. Now, before I do so, let me do an FYI here. I'm going to deselect a selection with the Command or Control D, as in dog or delete. And I'm going to merge them all together in their own layer, right? So I'm going to merge it in such a way, ensuring that I maintain that transparent background up here that you see along the top portions or above the top portion of your mountains. So make sure that you have any of these background layers turned off. In fact, I'm going to just delete it. I'm going to target the background that came with the original white canvas, and I'm going to hit delete. And I can also delete this next one here because I'm not really using it. Okay, that works. Now let's go to the top and let's merge everything together in their own layers. I want to keep all the layers, but I want to merge everything into their own layer. Command or Control, Alt or Option, Shift, and then E as in Edward right there. So that keeps all the original layers and puts the mountains in the new visual image into its own layer. Now we have to use our selections. Once again, we're going to go back and get our selections. And I'm going to go grab all this. And we're going to tell AI to create some type of a valley. So valley at the base of the mountains or something like that. I tell you what, let's do Yeah, let's use that. Let's go to contextual taskbar, hit the generate. Let's go ahead and just type it in. So valley at base of hills. Let's keep it simple. We're going to hit generate and we're going to see what we're going to get. Now, we don't know what we're going to get. We're going to be flexible. We're not going to get emotionally tied to it. We're just going to just see what happens and work in a way in the spirit of an abstract artist. I'm loving this one here. Look at this. I think I could definitely do something with this one. Right? So if we turn that off and on, I mean, look at that. I can pull something out of that pretty quickly, right? So, all right. Well, remember, Photoshop gives us several different options. Let's pull up the properties panel here, and let's see what this one gives me. Oh, that one's really nice too. Maybe we can use a combination of that, and maybe a combination of that, or maybe this one right here. Ooh, look at that, right? Isn't this fun? I mean, there are three different images within this one. So let's generate another. Let's hit generate again and see what else it might give me. It's slowly there, almost finishing up. Ooh, all right, that's interesting. Let's look at the next one. And let's look at, ooh, I like this one here. If I turn it off and on, in fact, ooh, I like this here. Yeah, I think this can work. See how it pulled in the base of my mountains in there? I'm trying to change it up. I'm not liking all the snow effects up here, but I am liking this valley and the way it leads into right this little area right in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the layers. I might want to use a couple of these. So Command or Control J. Let me just cascade that up just temporarily. And let's turn off that original one so that's not in the way. Now what we're going to do here is I'm going to right click on it and we're going to rasterize this, right? So rasterize it so it gets rid of the smart object. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, now not the smart object, but I should say it's the AI object, because we're getting ready to turn it into a smart object. So we can simply go to the right hand side again and make it a smart object, which will make it appear right here. Convert to smart object, closer to the bottom. It used to be up here at the top. Adobe's moved it. It is down here closer to the bottom. Convert to smart object, and there it is. It looks like a single layer, and that's a good thing. So now from here, we'll turn it off and on. In fact, we're going to bring down the opacity a little bit so we can kind of see, let it bleed through. Hit the V key for the move tool. V is in Victor. That's top left hand tool here. And I'm going to move it around like this. So there's the base of the original mountain in the back, right? So maybe I want to take it in somewhere like this. Bring this portion in like that. And let's see what happens here. Okay. All right, let's go bring up the opacity, bring it on back in, and let's give this a layer, a black filled layer mask, which is, if we hit the layer mask, the third icon from the bottom, right down here, by default, it's going to be white. If I hold down the Alt key and tag the layer mask, it's black by default. So a nice little trick there. I'm going to go ahead and get the brush. We're going to make a nice big brush here with a soft edge. I want the pressure sensitivity, right? What we learned in the first day of the class. Set up your pressure sensitivity so it's light to dark when you hit harder, and then we go lighter again. It goes very light pressure to apply your paint. Okay, let's pull this out and let's get rid of these here. All right, we'll close that up. Now we're going to paint with white to reveal. So I'm going to start right in here and just start to paint on in here these other elements. Okay, just bring it across. I only want it right down here at the base of the mountain, and bring it across. Tap a little harder. Oh, that's going to work really well. Okay, so we only need that little portion. Now, if you notice, it's integrating with this other. So I want to make it look like maybe it's another hill or something. So I'm going to make the brush a little smaller, get a little harder connection coming up there. So it looks like there's the shadow. There's a shadow here that's just, I'm going to press a little harder in here to bring in these other objects. Make it solid. There it is. Now, we need to change the color up a little bit, right? I might kind of bring this up just to see what this does. Yeah, I'm going to bring in a little more of this, these trees right here. It's like magic, right? Okay, so this is a lot warmer and a lot redder. The background's a lot bluer. I think I might add some color to the background. So we're going to select our mountains. I have not yet made this a smart object because there's no smart object middle right down here in the bottom right corner. So just right click real quick, make that a smart object so that that's non-destructive from the get-go after you merge the mountains. And then let's add some, let's add a layer to this, an adjustment to this layer is what I meant to say. We're going to go to our image menu, adjustments, and we're going to apply the curve, okay? Now, because it's a smart object, this is going to become all non-destructive. And we're going to utilize the curve for color correction, right? So the first thing I'm noticing is we're in our RGB composite, which is going to be affecting our values, right? The black and white information in the image. If I come up here and I want to add a little bit more yellow to it, then I'm going to go to the opposite of yellow, which is blue. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the blue out. I'm going to start with the mid-tone areas here, which is what this center point is going to be placed at. I just tapped on it to put a center point there. I'll click and drag and pull it down away. And now we're starting to add a little bit of yellow. So I don't want too much yellow. Now we need a little bit of red. Look at this. It's yellowish red. It's better. It's closer. So now we need to go to the red. So anything going up is going to give you more of that color that channel represents. So up, it adds more red and pull it up, and there we go. We're starting to blend it really nice in there. So that's how this is how you make color correction in Photoshop. You're going to be utilizing your curves. That's the professional way of handling it. So observing it, it looks pretty darn close. It looks pretty good. Okay. The shadow sections, I'm thinking, could be a little less red. Now, the shadow section, you look at your gradient down here, your shadows, midtones, and highlights, right? So if I want to anchor all this down. So I'm going to add a point there to anchor that down. I'm going to anchor all this down. These are just to keep it in place because I'm going to make a move down here for the shadows only. Put one right in the middle and pull it downward a little bit. And my shadows, it's going to pull out some of the red in the shadows to make it a little colder. Have to be careful with this setup. You want to anchor everything down so everything's going to stay natural, but we're going to kind of like isolate just those little shadow areas like that, right? Is that making sense? And I'm just going to pull out a little more red. I think that's fine right about there. Because the bottom one still has it's tiny shadows, but there's still a little red in there. But okay, there we go. Let's kind of pull it back, look at everything. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I might want to include, well, I tell you what. Why don't we start looking for sky elements for this thing now? Now, to help me with that, it's going to be easy. I'm going to just make a brand new layer. That brand new layer, we're going to hit Command A for selection. We're going to have a selection. And we're just going to tell Photoshop to, well, I tell you what. You know what? I've changed my mind. I changed my mind. I have a better idea. You're going to love this. We're going to pull it back, hit your C key for your crop tool. If you hold down your Alt or Option and drag one of the corners, we're going to pull it out. I want that cinematic view. Something like this, right? Okay. And then hit Enter to commit my changes. I want Photoshop to complete the rest of the image for me. Okay. So we're going to hit Command A, which is select all. And all you're going to do is this. Before we do anything, we need to merge everything into their own layer, right? So Command Alt Shift E, there we go. It merged everything into that new layer that we created. And now you're going to hit Generate the Fill, and you're going to put nothing in here. No, don't put any prompts in here at all. Let's let Photoshop look at the image and figure out what to do with it. So we're going to click Generate and sit back and relax, and let's see what happens. Now, everything you're doing here, you're going to create an image in the end, a beautiful image in the end, but it never existed. You never took the picture. Photoshop, the AI is creating the ideas for you, and then you're going to take the ideas and wow, okay, that didn't work out very well. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we need to be a little more specific in what we selected, right? I did that intentionally, you know. So if we look at each one of these, Photoshop is trying to figure out, well, what do you want, right? It's just going to throw something in there. Okay, now watch what we should have done. Let's delete this layer at the top. Hit the delete key. And what we're going to do is we're going to select inside this image. Go to your rectangular marquee, bring your cursor inside the image about that much so that it knows what? It knows what to keep. Now we're going to inverse it to tell it what to fill in. So the inverse of your selection is Command Shift I. Now the opposite is selected, right? Now we're going to go ahead and create a new layer. Actually, no, we're gonna stay in the other layers. We're gonna keep that for something else. So stay in your original layer with your image, with your merged images in there, right? Now Photoshop knows we want to focus on this mountain, but we want to fill in everything around the mountain. Now Generate Fill. Don't put anything in here, just as before. Don't put anything in here. Click Generate. And let's watch it go. It's almost there. And look at that. Isn't that amazing? So what it's done is it wants to fill in the sky for us. And these are things you need to see because now you need to understand what AI is doing here. It protected that rectangular area, but it didn't think to actually not include the sky and the rest of it. But it did a great job overall, right? Isn't that cool? It did a great job overall. So how do we work? How do we get around this, right? Right? And remember, this is the reason we're doing this exercise once again, is to get you to train your brain into understanding what's kind of going on in Photoshop. And we're going to be using AI throughout the class because I think it's going to be an important part of your jobs in the future. So how do we work this? Okay, let's rework this. Let's go backwards and rework this. Okay. All right. Let's delete this layer for now. All right. We don't want this one because it's almost there. It's almost there. It's just not quite yet. So we're going to go and we're going to put the sky in ourselves. Let's go do what we were going to do from the very beginning, right? We're going to put the sky in. Command A, select that entire layer at the top. There it is. That's why we left it there. And let's go to your generate to fill. And we're going to put in here maybe, let's see, we can do sky, partly cloudy sky, maybe. Sunny. Partly cloudy sky. Okay, hit enter and generate, and let's see what we get. So the advantage of having the sky by itself is that we can drop it right behind. So we'll get several different skies, different clouds. Okay, let's do it again. Let's generate again. And see if it gives us something a little bit better, because I want to get a little bit more of a wide angle view, which I'm going to use that in the next prompt. All right. So if you take a look at these and say you really want more of a wider angle view, well, let's put that in the next prompt. The prompts are still there. Wide angle, sunny, partly cloudy sky. Well, we'll go sunny, partly cloudy sky from wide angle view. Okay. So we're going to be poetic about this. From wide angle view. Hit enter. Let it run through its calculations. I look at AI as if it's a calculator. All right. It's a tool that help me produce something. And okay, that's better. Okay, we got the sun in there. I'm not liking the sun. Let's do something partly cloudy sky. Let's say take out the sunny, right? We'll take out the sunny and see what we get then. And we're just going to work it and work it and work it. It's almost there. There we go. That's much better. That's what I'm talking about. That's much better. That one, and that one. Yeah, I think these two can work. I think I'm going to go with that one. So let's duplicate the layer. Now, what you could do is the AI layers that we've turned off, and I believe this is one right here, we can put them into their own groups, right? So let me duplicate this one first, Command J, and then let's take this one, hold the Command or Control key, and go grab where that one right there's one there, I think. Let me go back and take a look at this and we get rid of that selection again. That was an accident. So select this layer here. And Command to Control, we have one there. I want to make sure I've got all of them. I think I do. And we're going to hit Command G, okay, and put it into its own group. We're going to take that group and we're just going to put it down at the very bottom. And we'll keep the eyeball on that group off, right? Okay, so I'm going to put in there, I'm going to just type it and call it original AI. Okay, and I will save this file now so there's no any accidents. There are no accidents. Okay, here's her sky. There's her image. Let's go ahead and place this. Now, I can take these mountains here. Right? I'm going to select them all. Put them in a group, Command G. Call that group the mountains. Okay. See, I'm staying organized. Command S to save. Okay, so if I turn off those clouds above, you get to see all my mountains in that group. Now I can take the clouds or the sky and bring it right, just turn that on. I'm going to drag it right beneath the mountains like that. Okay. And yeah, that looks better. So I'm thinking maybe give it a little bit more sky on this one. In fact, I may not need to have to worry about cropping because I've got, let's turn off all these other layers underneath here. So I don't think it's going to affect what we're going to do from this point forward. So everything underneath is turned off and we have that one layer turned on right there. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this one here, hit the V key on the keyboard. I think we can leave it just the way it is. I'm going to keep it there for now. So I'm going to go ahead and select like this, inside, just like before. All right, so we need to merge them together. And once again, so Command Option, Command and Control Option or Alt Shift E. There we go. And right there, they're all merged together. Let's go ahead, Command Shift I, and let's see what it does for us. So we're going to hit Generate to Fill, put nothing in it, hit Generate. Let's see what happens. Let's sit back and relax and see what happens on this up there. Look at that, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Let's look at this. Our three options, right? Let's bring up our properties panel, and we got this one. Ooh, this one's even nicer. Okay, and this one. Well, I like this one even better. It gets better and better. So that and that. This one I like, but I like the other two better. I think I like this one even better. Right there. I love this canyon where it leads your eye in here. Now we're gonna do one last thing. We're gonna put water in here. We're gonna get a reflection of the water. Okay. Let's pull it back. Hit the F key to go to full frame mode. Okay, so I just zoomed it back a little bit for the purposes of hitting the C key for the crop tool. We need to tell Photoshop where we're going to put that water. It's going to be right down here. So I'm going to expand out the canvas, hit Enter key. And we have to do the same thing once again. So we're inside the mountains. And if you want to, we can use that top layer, or you can make a new layer above your group. And you can hit your controller command, Alt Option, and Shift, and then E, merge all visible into that top layer. Grab your selection tool and grab quite a bit of the other image like that. Okay. And then in the prompt, lake with reflection. Keep it simple. You can get very sophisticated with prompts. Okay. Hit generate. Now there's a number of AI options. Look at that. That's just beautiful. There's a number of AI options out there. You got Midjourney, and you got the diffusion, stable diffusion. But we're using Photoshop, right? We're gonna stick to Photoshop for now. We just want to show you just how powerful Photoshop really is. Isn't that beautiful? See before and after, right up here, and put the AI results in another layer right above your original, and then you can turn it off or turn it on. I love this. If we come down to the bottom, go to your properties panel and see what other options you've got. Hate it. Don't care for it. Not too great. That's not too bad, but not as good as the first one. We're going with that. Okay. Water, keep in mind, water should be a little bit darker depending on the color of the lake and the nature of the water, of course. And we could make that happen, right? I could add an adjustment layer right up here. The last thing we're going to do. And black and white half circle, go to the curves, and we're going to bring down the density and flatten the water a little bit like so. Inverse your mass, Command I, Command or Control I, and then use your brush. Take your brush. You can make it large if you like. I'm going to move this over to the bottom left, and I'm going to just start to paint with white in here, and affect the water the way I think it should be. Okay? Just put it where we want it. All right, bringing that down. Start light and slowly bring it down. Now the eye becomes more focused on this mountain scene back here. Okay? Wasn't that fun? All right, so this is what you're going to do for homework. This is going to be your first exercise in utilizing AI. It kind of gets you used to work with AI so you're not afraid of it. You're going to play. Remember, you're going to build a little landscape of your own, similar to what I did. Utilizing your layer masking, utilizing your painting tools, your transform tools, utilizing your adjustment layers, okay? And you're going to create something that's completely unique from what AI gave you. So just as I showed you before, you can duplicate your AI layers, and then you can choose, for example, which one of these you want to use to composite. So basically, you're working the same way as you always worked in Photoshop, where you're compositing things together, but you're telling AI to produce the imagery for you, which is a real game changer. Okay. All right. So have fun with this. I'm looking forward to seeing what you produce. Steve Burns signing off.